again, everyone. This is Bob Martin, the RC sub guy with the NautilusDryDocks.com, and I got a neat little project I wanted to share with you. Not for the faint of heart if you're scared about cutting into valuable things. Let's take a look and see what I've been working on. What we have got here is a limited edition Disney Nautilus in 1/96 scale. It's about 24 inches in overall length, and this is not as it would come, out of the box. This particular model has seen some significant upgrades, and I wanted to share with you what I did to it to make it a little bit more accurate, a little bit more realistic, and a little bit more visually interesting. So as I mentioned, this was a limited edition model. You can find them on eBay anywhere between $700 and $1,000 right now. They were put out in limited supply, and for those lucky enough to have gotten one, you've got yourself a really neat piece of memorabilia from the 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea movie. Out of the box, it came with kind of a base brown coat, dry brushed gold, and quite honestly, it looked quite good. Sort of an antique-y sort of a look to it. It's lit, and the lighting functions are controlled by the skiff. You can push it forward and back, and that activates and deactivates the lighting. Unfortunately for those collectors who wanted them, there was no interior details, so all of the windows were basically just blue frosted over lenses. So there was no real interior detail to draw your eye and add realism to the boat. So as a bit of a background to this particular project, I ended up being contacted by a gentleman out of the UK that wanted a 96 scale model to complement some other models that he was having on display. So this certainly fit the bill, but it did not suit his tastes for detail. And that's why he reached out to me to see what we could do. Now, I had never broken into one of these models to see what was inside, so whether or not we could add interior details and rework the lighting was up for debate, but fortunately it worked out that it was actually feasible to do. So let's talk about the end result here. As you can see, it's got LED lighting, and this is a little bit different than the out-of-the-box version. It's white LEDs. The stock model comes lit by 3 LED bulbs, one that shines upward from the floor of the wheelhouse, and 2 inside, one shining this way and one on the other, and it just kind of backlights this entire panel in kind of a blue light. So what I actually ended up doing was going into the model through the battery compartment in the top here, and this is typically where the AAA battery holder would go. I cut all that out and managed to extract my way into the model to gain access to this hollow cavity. Inside, what you'll find is that these models are rotocast, which basically means they're put into a mold and spun around, and the resin coats the interior of the mold. This particular boat, I'm going to say, is at least ½ of an inch thick of resin, and you can tell when you pick it up because it's got some, some serious mass to it. So what that required of me was cutting out this solid piece, routing inside and grinding out as much as I could, and it was the same thing with the wheelhouse. The wheelhouse was at least a 1/4 inch to 3/8 of an inch thickness of resin inside. If we take a look at the inside of the wheelhouse now, you can see I've added all of the wall details. I've added independent LED lights for each one of the alligator eyes and a little backlight, warm white LED that illuminates the interior. Also added a scale ship's steering wheel. I had to fabricate new magnetic hold downs for that wheelhouse. But after a lot of work, a lot of grinding, a lot of dust, it actually turned out really, really well. Now the salon area was a particular challenge, obviously, because access was very limited through the top and then also very thick resin through here. But what I managed to do was fabricate a very scale curved settee couch, and it's hard to see. I apologize. Maybe you can see it backlit a little bit there as I move this flashlight in, but that's a completely accurate settee couch. And behind it, maybe you can see, is a scale specimen table as well. And we've got some oriental carpets and runners inside that were printed and adhered to the inside. So it's actually a ton of really neat and interesting interior detail for one of the most important parts of the Nautilus. And the last thing that I want to show you is the display stand. I designed this stand. I'm actually really happy with how it turned out. It's very Victorian-esque, kind of a faux rusted metal finish. It was 3D printed on my printer in 2 pieces, coated in silver, and then just like the model, was weathered using an iron oxide metal solution. So this is real rust that you see all over the entire model. So there you go. 50th anniversary Nautilus model, custom work with full interior and redone LED lighting. Hope you enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun to play around with. If you have any questions about what I did, email me anytime, bob@rc-sub. I would love to let you know in detail what I did. If you have any other questions or comments, by all means, reach out to me. Lots of awesome stuff, information, resources, RC submarine kits, components, and other things on my website, nautilusdrydocks.com. Thanks for joining me. Again, my name is Bob Martin, the RC Sub Guy. We'll catch you next time.